Next, I'd like to focus our attention on another beautiful work written and directed by Albert Lamorisse. And this is a work which we understand was filmed on the Tunisian island of Djerba. And I mention that because this island and the children and also the donkeys are featured very prominently in this work. So the cast is described as including Abdallah and Missaoud and the children of the island. And once again, this is a work written and directed by Albert Lamorisse. And this is, please pardon me once again for my poor pronunciation of the language. I hope you can forgive me. But it is BIM, le petit homme, or as it's known in English, BIM, the little donkey. So once again, we have a work which is about a young boy and his bond, his friendship with an animal, a beautiful, lovely animal, that being Bim, the little donkey of the title. And we understand too that there are many children on this island and in this community, and many donkeys as well in this island and in this community. And specifically, we focus in on one boy who is, we understand immediately, comes from a relatively speaking poor background, but we also have another child who is coming from a very wealthy background, and already we have a type of rivalry between the two children, or perhaps to be more specific, the child from the wealthier background seems to be trying to maybe break up the close friendship and bond between the other boy and Bim the donkey, such that we have early on the donkey being essentially abducted or captured against its will. To this other boy, but what happens is through the lovely resilience of the love of that this boy has towards Bim, this beautiful donkey. We and the other boy and the other children come to realize that there is much at stake, and it also becomes therefore a film about friendship between boys who were maybe not friends at the start, but then become friends, and they are joined together for their common love and admiration for Bim, the donkey, and indeed the other donkeys that we see as well. And it becomes a story about adventure and friendship, and also about a kind of rescue mission, rescuing the boy, rescuing the donkey, rescuing the both of them, or one trying to rescue the other, or vice versa, or maybe the other boy trying to rescue. It becomes this wonderful, great drama that builds and builds and builds, and it relies, I think, not on heavy doses of dialogue per se. I mean, this is something that I should have mentioned as well in our discussion of the other films, is that we're not getting a lot of dialogue. We do get, depending on the versions that we see, and we'll talk a little bit about the versions a little bit later in this video discussion series, but we might get voiceover narration, and indeed we do here, for instance, in the French version of Bim the Little Donkey, we do get the text of Jacques Prévert, the spoken word and text of Jacques Prévert, which urges on the drama as we are watching it. But that means also that we are also seeing this almost like a silent film, in that we are relying on the action and spectacle and set pieces of the story and drama as we see it unfold, not necessarily relying on a lot of dialogue within the actor's world per se. But that doesn't stop us or prevent us, the viewers, from still being 1,000% engaged in what is going on in terms of the drama and intensity. And I mean intensity in terms of the stakes of the action, because what's so great about Albert Lamorisse and his bold technique is that he also allows for showing us the risk and showing us the danger that our characters in this world are threatened with. And not only that, we are given time to get to know our characters through lovingly set up close-ups of the faces of Abdallah or faces of Bim, etc. And we get a sense of who they are and their souls. I mean, I mentioned this a lot, the word soul. I think the word soul is very important in an approach to the works of Albert Lamorisse, and Bim the Little Donkey being a great example of this, because once again, like other works of Albert Lamorisse in this set, Bim the Little Donkey relies on us being engaged with, say, this beautiful creature, this beautiful living creature that is Bim the donkey, that is not given, let's say, human traits through personification, cinematic techniques of personification, or an anthropomorphic depiction of this character. You know, we don't hear Bim speaking, or we don't see Bim moving the body, or having bodily movements like quote unquote say a human being per se. Bim and the other donkeys are allowed to, or are depicted as being who they are. And the beauty and grace of their movements and their presence in the moment as these lovely creatures. And that is, I think, one of the great strengths of this film, is that they are allowed to be who they are. And we, as spectators to the film, or the characters that are inhabiting this world, Abdallah and others, the young boys, they react. We see their expressions as they are reacting to the animals as they see them, either in moments of joy and optimism and happiness and admiration. Maybe sometimes there's sadness and a heartbreak, and maybe frustration at the cruelness of the world and the capturing, or the utter thrill of liberation and freedom that is oftentimes expressed in wonderful, healthy doses throughout this film, Bim the Little Donkey. So we are also understanding that these people, or these creatures, are alive, not just because the camera allows them to be alive, but also we respond to them because they are alive, and the characters that we see that are inhabiting this world are also responding to them because they're alive. So this idea of action and reaction that really gives space and room and a great deal, I think, space and respect to allow these creatures to come to life before our very eyes. And that's also true, I think, for the human beings as well. I mean, human beings, they have a lifeblood, and you can feel that, and you can feel the joy, and it's captured in very, very authentic and very earnest moments that don't have over-stylized flourishes to them. I mean, they are close-ups of the face. They're feelings of the delicate nature of the human heart, as we hear the Prévert text, you know, in the French language, moving us on, or we understand of the stakes, because these are very universal and very accessible feelings. You know, friendship, bonds, love, and admiration for the other, as well as fear and threat when those bonds are threatened and broken, or potentially broken, in favor of a totally new set of, say, dynamics. And so that is all on display here. And so there is the urge or push towards a kind of impulse for freedom, which I think is very understandable, very universal, and very liberating, and thrilling and enthralling. There is risk, there is danger, but there's also the feeling of a universally understandable sense of excitement and a type of a freedom that is both poetic and lovely and very delicate and very personal, which is what makes this film, Bim the Little Donkey, one of the great strengths of this set. And it's another great example of the power and poetry of the cinema of Albert Lamorisse. This is a beautiful film, and I hope that you enjoy it, for those who have yet to see it. And that film is Bim the Little Donkey.